Okay, the pieces you will need for page 6 are as follows. You will need 4 A pieces that measure 7 by 7 inches, 4 of those. Your B piece is 7 by 8. Your C piece is going to be a hinge, so it's 1 inch by 3 3/4 inches. D is another hinge. It is 1 inch by 8 1/2. E is 3 3/8 by 4. And 2 F pieces that are 8 1/2 by 7 3/8. Okay, so get all of those cut, and then we will grab our scoreboard. Okay, we'll begin as always with our A pieces, and we will, they're square, so put them in the scoreboard either way, and you will score at 3 1/2, and then you're going to turn 90 degrees and score at 3 1/2 again. So you're essentially turning it into 4 squares. Okay, so 4 squares. So do that to all 4 of your A pieces. Your B piece will be scored at 1/2 along the 8-inch side. So 8 is across the top, score at 1/2. Your C piece will be scored at 1/2 on the 1-inch side because it's a hinge, so we're just scoring it in 1/2 lengthwise. We're going to leave D alone for a minute. Your other hinge piece, we're going to leave that alone. Your E piece, score at 1/2 and 1 inch along the 4-inch side. So 1/2 and 1 inch along the 4-inch side. And your F pieces, now we'll start adding our score tape. So on the F pieces, just put it on the 1/2 inch, not the 3/4, not the 3/4 inch part there, just the 1/2 inch. Leave D alone. Your little hinge here, or that's, sorry, is that E? You're not helping. I know you think you are, but you're not. And now on your E piece that has 2 1/2-inch sections, just put it on this first one. Just score tape on the first one. And then on B, on the 1/2 inch. Alright, and then the A's we will leave alone for now. Now we will miter the corners. So taking off just a little bit at an angle wherever you have the score tape. So just starting from that 1/2 inch score line to the edge of the page. I find it easier to do hinges if you fold them in half and then cut. And that way they're completely even. So it looks like that. And your last F piece. Okay, get all of those little bits out of the way. Now fold on all of your score lines. Where's my bone folder? Should probably get that out. Shouldn't be teaching you bad habits, should I? I should be applying the proper techniques here. Alright. Fold and crease all your score lines of A. Okay, now you can set all the rest of the pieces aside for a moment, and we're just going to work with the A's. So what we are going to do is along the top score line here, I'm just turning it so it's easier for me, but we're doing it along the top. We're just going to cut that score line right to the center. Okay? So on each of those, cutting, I mean it's a square, so at this point I guess there really is no top or bottom, so just cut along one of the score lines so that it does that. Okay, so once you have all four of those done, take this right hand square and fold it so that it meets the bottom left hand square. Okay? So you've got this now. Okay, so do that to all four of them. Crease it really well. And now you are going to add your choice, either wet adhesive or score tape, to the top square that's left. So this is the top left square. Alright, so on all four of them, we're going to add some score tape. Okay, so you've got score tape on the top left, and you've got this part doing that. Okay, I'm gonna apply my score tape to the rest of them, and I'll be right back. Alright, so once you have got your score tape on the top left square of each one, remove the tape backing. And fold this square down over the one that you folded across. Okay, and you may have to redo this fold here. Alright, so now you've got something that looks like that. Okay, so do that to all 4 of them. I've already done a couple of them just to save you having to watch me do it to all of them. So I'll do this last one here. And fold it over. Alright, so once you've got all 4 of those done, now we are going to take this part here and fold it in. Alright, so you make a square again. So it now looks like that. Alright, so you've got that pointy bit going inside the square. Okay, so this is folding in like that. So do that to all 4 of them. You probably want to recrease everything. Alright, so once you've got all 4 of those, making sure that the point of that piece that you've just slid in there, so here's the point, make sure it's to the left, and we're going to add score tape to the top of this. Alright, and now you are going to remove the backing from the score tape. Making sure that point is towards the left, and you're going to add 1 more of the squares on top of it, making sure the point is also to the left. Can you see that? The points are to the left. So just place it right on top. And you are going to continue doing that with the other 2. So now we're going to add score tape on top of this one. Oops. And again, remove the backing, and we will add the next piece onto it. Oops. Okay, so again, making sure the point is to the left, and we will add another one on top, and then do the last one. Okay, remove the backing once again. And add the last one. Remove the backing from that piece of score tape. Come on, work with me here. There we go. Okay, and now open it up. And there we have it. So now it will stay open. And now we need to bring in our E piece. So that is this one here where we have the 2 1/2-inch sections. So what we are going to do is, it's going to act as a closure for this whole thing. So remove the backing of the score tape. And now we are just going to slip it. Okay, so got the whole thing here. Take one little corner. This sticky part is going to go right here. Okay, so alright, see what just happened there? So we've got that adhered right there. And now we need one more magnet so that it will close this up. So add another little piece of score tape right there. Remove the backing, 2 magnets. Another piece of score tape. Remove the backing from that one. I don't know why these ones always give me so much trouble. Ah! Come on. There we go. Okay, and now close it up. And there you go. Now your whole thing will stay closed and it will stay open when you want it to. Now we need our little C piece. Our C piece is going to go at the back and the bottom of this whole A piece. So remove the backing from just half of it for now. You want the opening to be facing up. So we've got this opening that way, and this is going like that. And so on the bottom, with the opening facing up, alright. Now, set this aside for just a sec. Bring your base page back in. Make sure you've got it the right way up, so it's this way, so flip it, make sure it's the right way. Your B piece is going to go at the top of your base page, centered. This seems just a smidge too long. No, maybe not. So remove the backing. You can measure it. I'm just going to eyeball it and adhere it right to the top of your base page. Alright, so it opens like that. Now your D piece, the other hingey thing, we are going to fold it in half. And adhere it to itself. So we're just basically doubling it up just to give it some added strength. And another piece of score tape. Okay, so just fold that together, give it some added strength, and now we are going to attach this to the other half of your little C hinge back here. So remove the other half of the score tape, and now D is going to adhere to the back, but it's going to stick out a little bit, which is what we want. So adhere this to the back of your hinge, and there's going to be this little bit sticking out here, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So don't worry that it's too long. That's how it's supposed to be. Alright, so now this can stand up on your page, and now we're going to punch a hole in this overhanging part. So I'm going to get my Crop-A-Dile, and I'm going to punch a hole in the part that overhangs. Okay, so see the hole there where it overhangs? And now we are going to place this, your whole, what do you call it, this square thingy, your A and C and E part. We're going to place it there, and you're going to mark a little mark right where that hole is. Okay, and you're going to punch a hole where you've marked it. And attach this whole part with a brad. Now I know we don't have our pattern paper on yet, but that's okay because we still need to add some magnets. So you want a brad that is somewhat flat. Well, I think we can probably use one of those same brads. So fairly flat. Okay, so we are going to attach it to the page using a brad. Attach it, undo the tines there. Alright, so like that. Now we want to add a magnet so that when this is in this position, it will stay against the page. So we're going to put a magnet here. And another piece of score tape. Okay, and now fold it back so that it's even with the top right corner. Alright, so this is what you have so far. We've got this that stays down to the page, but then when you open it like this, it will go all the way around, and it can turn. Alright, so now close it all back up. Now we can attach our patterned paper to this. So we just wanted to get that magnet under there. So remove the brad now. And we'll put our piece of pattern paper on here. Hi, buddy. Okay, so this is what I want here. Alright, so doesn't look like I've inked this up yet, so I'm just going to quickly ink it. And now we will attach it and then reattach our brad. So for this one I'm going with kind of the black and white, well, black and cream kind of color scheme for these next two pages. So this piece measures 6 3 by 7 1/4. Alright, so we'll put that on. Okay, and now from the back we'll repunch that hole so we know exactly where it's supposed to be. Okay, now get that brad again and put it back on. I'm going to put a little piece of score tape over these tines so they don't open up. There we go. Alright, so this opens up. And now it's not in the very center of the page, but I felt that was okay because I wanted it to be in the like in the top right corner when it's closed. So it's not perfectly centered once it's open, but I thought it still looked pretty cool. And the last couple pieces, got your F pieces, so they are going to go on the left and the right to close over top of this. Alright, so remove the score tape backing. One piece goes on the left side of your base page. And the other one will go on the right side of your base page. Okay. And then we're just going to add a couple magnets to keep these two closed. Alright, so just put one somewhere around there, one somewhere around there. And add 2 magnets to each piece. There we go. A little bit more score tape. and close it up. Alright, so I know it is a little bit bulky, but it was, I just thought it was so cool that I had to go with it. The other pages aren't quite as bulky, but this one is a little bit, but I think I'm okay with that. Alright, so now we get to put all of our pattern paper on. So I'm going to ink everything up because apparently I have not done that, and I'm not going to do it all on camera because that would be boring. So I'm going to ink up all my pieces and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got everything inked up, so let's start putting things on. So your front piece is 7.5 by 7 1/8. And I think I'm going to put one of the ephemera cards on here and maybe do some kind of bling on the sides or something of that nature afterwards. Maybe some of the chipboard pieces. Okay, and then inside would be the same measurements. And we're going with the same beige paper. This is just a plain cardstock. This was not part of the collection. This was just a coordinating cardstock, so I started to run out of paper. And since both of your F flaps are the same size, these first 4 pieces that we're adhering would all have the same measurement. Oh, another crooked. Go, and this last one will also have the same measurement. Okay, so for the little, I'm not sure what you call it, this square thingy, I've used two parts of ephemera cards for the flap here, and then I've gone with houndstooth all the way throughout. So I've just done just the squares with the houndstooth, and I've left these blank. You can definitely put some pattern paper on them. I felt it was busy enough, so I decided not to. But if you have the paper to do it, then go for it. So these are all, what are they, 3 1/4 by 3 3 by 3 1/4. So I'm just going to do the last couple with you here. So I mean, this whole thing would be perfect for, say, like Instagram photos or something like that. Like your smaller photos would all fit perfectly on these squares. And I mean, you could even, I mean, some people would think it's sacrilege, but you could take a square photo and cut it down the center and put the 2 halves here. I think that looks really cool. Some people won't do that to their photos, but I mean, it's your photo, so you can do whatever you like. Okay, and make sure to not forget the back, because we've got the magnets on there, so you want to make sure that's covered. And while we're at it, maybe we should probably cover that D piece with something, shouldn't we? A piece that might work, maybe a border strip. That might work. Let's see. Yeah, even that would be okay. It would at least cover it up a little bit. Let's cut that. And ink this up here. Just to give it a little pizzazz there. You won't really see that. And then lastly, I need one more piece of paper for that. Okay, well, I'm going to put this on. This one here measures 7 1/4 by 9 1/4. So I'll put this one on, and then I'm going to figure out something for that last piece. Okay, and what do we have left? Not long enough. Here we go. This would be perfect. So we need something that is 6 3 by 7 1/4. Okay, ink this up. Last piece for page 6. Woohoo! Making progress. Oops. Sorry about that. All right. Excellent. There we go. So that is your page 6. And now we will move on to page 7.